This is going to be part 2 of my 37 dev tools for 2023. Now, what I'm also going to do is leave the original part 1. It will be at the end of this video in case you didn't see part 1. So I'll record all the new part 2 URLs and websites and tools to talk about, and then if you want to, you can keep watching part 1 at the end of this, or you can go watch the part 1 separately. So I just wanted to mention that. So here I've pulled up the text file, which I will include the links in the description for the different websites and tools that I'll be talking about. And at the end of the video, I will make a text file that you'll be able to access from any web browser. And I'll just include that also either in the video or in the text description when this is finished. So far in the video, there were some links I talked about at the end of this file, but then I started here at item number 1. And so in part 1, we went through those, and also number 1 through number 10. So those have been completed, and now we're going to start on number 11 and just start going down through this list, through the other tools and websites and utilities that I hope will help you in some way at some point. So number 11 on the list is Heroicons, and I've pulled up the GitHub page and also the main website, heroicons.dev. And so if we look at the GitHub page, you can see here the About is a set of free MIT licensed high quality SVG icons for UI development. And if I scroll down, you can see a little bit more here. I'll zoom in a little bit. Beautiful handcrafted SVG icons by the makers of Tailwind CSS, available as basic SVG icons and via first-party React and Vue libraries. And there's some information about the basic usage, and then in React and in Vue. And if we go to the heroicons.dev file, you can switch between solid colors and the default view here, and enable the copy as JSX, or you can enable dark mode. So those are some things. And then there's of course a search engine, so you can quickly find something that you're looking for. So I've pulled up number 12 on the list, which is html5doctor.com. This is possibly slightly older information, but I have found some useful HTML or HTML5 information here on this site. So you can look in the article archives, go to the element index, look at resources, and right here there is a HTML5 element index that you can click on to learn more information about all of these different elements. So number 13 on the list is imagecolorpicker.com, and I've pulled up their website here, and so you can pick a color from an image for various different reasons. So wherever you click on, it updates this information here on the right side, and it can be pretty useful when you're trying to work on some front-end web pages and so forth. Also, you can upload your own image, and there's copy buttons here, so you can copy the information if you need to use it in your software development tool or graphics program. And so if you click on use your image, you can upload images, color on your screen, a website URL, image URL, and other options. So I've found this tool to be handy in some situations. There's also the other tab up here, Color Picker. So if you click on that, you can get some more detailed information about the color that you chose. And there's color conversion tables, variations of the color, color combinations, complementary colors, and so forth. So now I've pulled up number 14 in the list. This is for various versions of ECMAScript. Here it's on version 6, and it's quite an extensive amount of information. And as you move your mouse across, you can see like what version of the browser it's talking about. Internet Explorer 11, or let's say Firefox 108, Edge, Microsoft Edge 106, and so forth. And you also have to scroll down a little bit to see the full amount of information. There's so much information, it scrolls from left to right. So here is the scroll bar. And so if I scroll over to the right, then you can see it also gets into the mobile side of things and servers and runtimes. But I will go ahead and scroll back to the left side and point out a couple other things here. So let's say you wanted to look at some sample documentation about this particular item or feature. I would just right click and say open a new tab, and then it explains here about default parameters. And so it also links all that information together here for all of these different features. So if you're looking to determine why something may be broken or something that you would like to use and want to make sure if it's going to work or not in different browsers or different platforms, this is a great site. And also you can switch between different versions here of the ECMAScript information. And so you just click on these tabs up here and that will show up. You can also sort by engine types, features, and flagged features, depending on how you want to see the information. So number 15 on the list is Leetcode. Leetcode is a platform to help you enhance your skills, expand your knowledge, and prepare for technical interviews. So here is the homepage for Leetcode. And so as they explain here, over 2,550 questions for you to practice. Come and join one of the largest tech communities with hundreds of thousands of active users and participate in their contests to challenge yourself and earn rewards. Looks like they support 14 popular coding languages. And as they say here, at our core, Leetcode is about developers. Our powerful development tools such as Playground help you test, debug, and even write your own projects online. And you can see some of the companies that are using the Leetcode platform. So now I've pulled up another website, which is number 16 on the list, and that is for MXRoute. And so as you can see here on the screen, this is a email hosting for your domains. If you don't have email hosting for one or more of your domains, you can use this service. And as I'm showing here on this page, sometimes when you go to their site, you may see like a lifetime promo. And so I clicked on that, and you can see here how they're explaining their lifetime plan is best positioned for those with low storage needs and can be upgraded to any of their other offerings at any time. The lifetime plan comes with 10 gigabytes of storage and no limits on the number of domains or email addresses you can create. So I think that's good to know, depending on what you're trying to do with your like hosting and websites and emails. This 10 gigabyte, or this is 10 gigabyte for the whole account, not for each email account. That means you can use it to your heart's content. The limit only comes into play when the collective usage under the account reaches 10 gigabyte. And also I think it's important to point out here, all email accounts, whether on their lifetime package or otherwise, are limited to 300 outbound emails per hour. they say here, we are not intended for bulk mailing. Transactional emails are perfectly acceptable. And so if we go back here to the home page and scroll down just a little bit, here you can see the basics. They say we support the basic email protocols that you expect: SMTP, IMAP, POP3. And they support mail forwarding or aliasing and plus addressing. And they do offer some webmail options. And they have this IP reputation that they deal with, as well as some spam filtering and other features. And if you go into their documentation, here you can see there's a lot of different categories, and they recommend, since they are a low-cost plan, that you try and find your answers here. And if you don't, you can click the Contact Us button. And so here, if we scroll down just a little bit more, we can see the plans and pricing. Small, medium, and large. So $49 a year up to $69 a year. So number 17 is the pexels.com website. So I've pulled that up here in the web browser, and you can search for photos or videos for your different projects. And it's a very useful site I've used in some different projects. And you want to check out the license to make sure that it's going to meet your needs. Legal simplicity: all photos and videos on Pexels can be downloaded and used for free. That's from their website licensing page. Attribution is not required. It's nice, but it's not required. You can modify the photos and videos from Pexels, be creative, edit them as you like. And then they list some things that are not allowed. And they have a really good search engine also. So here I've just typed in the word skyscraper, and you can see that's what it showed us. Lots of different options. And here I will click or switch to videos, and takes it a second to load. And then you can, as they say here, type in some different searches. Let's put in sunset. And it looks like there's 7,100 sunset videos to choose from. So the next website I pulled up is number 18 on the list, and it's placeholder.com. So Placeholder is a free image placeholder service for web designers or web developers. And as they say here, billions of placeholder images are served. And you can specify your image size and image format like GIF, JPEG, PNG. Choose your background color and text color as well as the text. And so here they say what is placeholder. It generates custom placeholder images on the fly like these examples, so you can see the examples here. Now I have used this when developing some applications at the outset and have found it to be useful. And they go on to explain here how to set the image size, how to set the image formats, how you can set custom text, how to set the background and text color, and other information. So very useful site. So number 19 on the list is a product called Pusher from MessageBird, and I've pulled up their website here. And the MessageBird is a cloud communications company, and they acquired Pusher in a deal worth $35 million, according to what I saw. on a Google search. Pusher enables developers to integrate real-time functionalities into their software, including push notifications and in-app messaging. So there's the company MessageBird, and you can see their products here. There's quite a few solutions and pricing information, which I did pull up here. And so here you can see the inbox. It says you get 2 seats for free. I'll zoom in on this a little bit. And Flow Builder, 1,000 monthly invocations for free. Conversations API, 1,000 monthly messages for free. And so there's other tabs here you can look at for pricing. Message processing fees, 1,000 monthly messages for free. And other options here. So it's worth taking a look at this if you need functionality like this. And also I wanted to point out the pusher. Here is an example, or examples that are showing what you can build with pusher. Powering real-time experiences for mobile and web, bi-directional hosted APIs that are flexible, scalable, and easy to use. They create and maintain complex infrastructure so you can build the real-time features your users need, and fast. And as they say here, you can try Pusher MessageBird for free. And you can see some of the companies that are using it, and down here what you can build with Pusher: real-time charts, stock charts, update data instantly, notifications, critical transactional information delivered every time, location tracking from food delivery to order status, real-time updates at scale, in-app chat. Bring delightful conversational experiences to all of your apps. Send push notifications with scalable delivery, security, and insights. And so you can see here, cross-platform for iOS, Android, and web. Scalable delivery, broadcast at over 1 million messages per minute. Security, create secure channels for all push-enabled devices. And insights, delivery and open tracking to optimize what you send. And there's a lot more information here, but if you're looking for or needing features like this, definitely give this product page a look. A few other sample applications here on their site: collaboration and activity feeds, chat and gaming, synchronize game state between players, and add multi-user interactions to your games and apps. And finally, on their main website, MessageBird, the leading omnichannel communications platform built for a global scale. Their mission is to create a world where communications with a business is easy as talking with a friend. They power communication between businesses and their customers across any channel, always with the right context and on every corner of the planet. Start for free now. A little further down on the page, you can see trusted by over 25,000 companies, lots of big companies named there. Improve every interaction, marketing, sales, customer support, account security, multi-factor authentication via SMS, voice, or WhatsApp, and email, and many other features. So it looks like a really great platform. At the bottom of the page, here it says 4.5 trillion annual interactions across 17 plus channels, 138 countries with virtual localized numbers, 11 offices across the world, 250 plus direct telecom carrier connections globally. So number 20 on the list is QR Code Monkey. That's qrcode-monkey.com, the 100% free QR code generator. And there's a lot of features and options here. If you need a QR code generator, and give it a look-see, and just looks like a great tool. I've used it for a few different purposes. I actually haven't used it a lot, but I have used it a few times, and it gave me what I needed for my QR codes. At the top here, you can see you could provide a URL and generate a QR code. or based on text, or based on an email or a phone, and so forth. All these different options. And you can change the quality of it, create your QR code, download it as a PNG file, SVG, PDF, or EPS. And I haven't used this feature, but it looks like you can upload MP3, PDF, or any file you wish to your QR code. Here is the About page, the free QR code generator for high quality QR codes. It's one of the most popular free online QR code generators with millions already created. Endless lifetime with unlimited scans, high resolution for printing, QR codes with logo, QR code vector formats, custom design and colors, and free for commercial usage. And of course, they have a nice FAQ here at the bottom of this page. So number 21 on the list is Quokka, or Quokka.js. It's an extension for various code editors to help debug JavaScript code. The Scratchpad is the code editor, automatically updates whenever you make code changes, and you can even do performance benchmarking in the Pro Edition. And I pulled up the website here. It's the JavaScript playground in your editor. It runs JavaScript and TypeScript with instant feedback in your editor. Runtime values are updated and displayed in your editor next to your code as you type. I've been using it more, and I'm looking at purchasing the Pro version in 2023. I'm interested in the benchmarking especially. And so I clicked here on the install page, and so it shows how to install in VS Code, how to install in JetBrains, how to install in the Sublime Text. And once you do that, then it lays out all of the features here. So many different things that it can do. I would say give it a look if you're looking to speed up your JavaScript development, testing and debugging, and benchmarking, and many other features. So number 22 on the list is Console Ninja. And I've pulled up the website here, console-ninja.com. And this looks like a really great tool. I'm planning on taking a look at it soon. I've discovered it recently. And if I scroll down here a little bit, you can see some of the features they mention. Simply start your editor and your development server or a test runner in watch mode and see logged values right next to your code. No configuration, no setup, no hassles. Console logs connected to your code. Say goodbye to context switching and analyzing where a console log is coming from. Get logged values right where you need them in your editor. See console log values right next to your code. Or use the aggregated view to explore logged values and navigate between logs and code. Frictionless console.log driven development. One of the fastest ways to understand what your code is doing is to use console.log. Unfortunately, it doesn't scale. Multiple log statements quickly result in obscure, unmanageable output. Console Ninja is specifically designed to keep console log easy to use while making it scalable, providing an edit and continue like debugging experience. Works with your JavaScript tools, so you can see here React, Vue, Angular, Node, TypeScript, and other tools. It's free for everyone. It's brought to you by the Wallaby team, which is related to the previous video or product that we just looked at. They do say here, while we will probably commercialize Console Ninja at some point, we don't have any immediate plans to do so. Regardless, we plan to always have a free version, and any commercial offering would probably provide more advanced features. So number 23 on the list is rapidapi.com. Millions of developers use the Rapid API platform to build, use, and share thousands of APIs. You can get started for free. And if we scroll to the bottom of the page, here you can see some of their popular free public APIs for developers, and I've used some of those when setting up and developing some initial applications. And here they have a list of trending APIs for Amazon products, prices, top movie database APIs, top phone verification APIs, top paraphrasing APIs, quote generator APIs, top football or soccer APIs, and more. They also have a list of featured APIs from Microsoft, essential e-commerce APIs, geocoding, and a lot more. So if you're in the market to find or use different APIs, you may want to check this site first. Another one of their pages says here, Rapid API is the world's largest API hub, where over 3 million developers find, connect, build, and sell tens of thousands of APIs. Here is a pricing page. You can see on the free plan or the basic plan, 1 user, up to every 6 hours. Notifications are by email only. Number of API calls can be 2,000 a month, and number of tests per API is 2. And then you can see the Starter, Pro, Ultra, and Enterprise pricing options. So number 24 on the list is React Developer Tools. This is a browser plugin that allows you to inspect the React components hierarchies in the Chrome Developer Tools. So here's an overview page. It shows how you can add the React debugging tools, and that it's open source. You'll get 2 new tabs in your Chrome DevTools Components and Profiler. The Components tab shows you the root React components that were rendered on the page, as well as the subcomponents that they ended up rendering. By selecting one of the components in the tree, you can inspect and edit its current props and state in the panel at the right. In the breadcrumbs, you can inspect the selected component, the component that created it, and the component that created that one, and so forth. I've been using this tool while working on some React websites, and I find it to be very useful. So number 25 on the list is React Spring Animations. With naturally fluid animations, you will elevate your UI and interactions. Bringing your apps to life has never been simpler. Well, I don't know about that, but I have used this tool in a couple React applications that I'm working on, and I found it to be fun and fairly straightforward to use, and I do think it saves a lot of time and offers a lot of options. Up here at the top left, you can click on this documentation, and it walks you through step by step many different parts of using this tool. And if you click on the next little icon here, this is code examples, and so you can click on any of these and get an idea of how they're going to work, or open them up in a separate web page. If we scroll down just a little bit here in the front page, you can see how to install it using the npm package manager as an example. Then they go on to explain why springs and how they think of animations in terms of times and curves. But that causes most of the struggle we face when trying to make elements on the screen move naturally, because nothing in the real world moves like that. Springs don't have a defined curve or set duration. And so anyway, if you scroll down a little further, you can see what their fans say. And lots of good comments here. Fantastic comments. React Spring is insane. It's not just for the web. They have 5 different targets. Run animations without re-rendering. And other information. So if you're looking for some animation capabilities for React, then this could be a good place for you. So the next item on our list, number 26, is the React Spring Visualizer. Now I found this website to be very helpful when you want to see how your animation might look before going any further. And there's just a lot of different options you can click on here to do different types of animations. And it's interactive. And then you can change all of these settings over here. You can use a drop down, say wobbly, and then click on it and you see how it basically it wobbles. Do a slow. So there you go. It kind of slows down as it finishes its transition. So what is this? I'm a big fan of React Spring, a Spring physics-based animation library. It quickly has become my go-to library for UI animation in React. So this person who developed this website made, I think, a really great tool. And there's just more information here explaining what the settings are for. Number 27 on the list is React Toastify, and I'm just showing the NPM page here. I've used this in a couple different React applications and found it to be pretty easy to set up and configure. And you can see the weekly downloads here is 861,000. So if you're looking for a Toastify feature for your React application, check out this website. Here you can see how to install it with npm or yarn and a list of all the features. Easy to set up, super easy to customize, swipe to close, choose the swipe direction, use an animation of your choice, works well with animate.css for example, can display a React component inside the toast, and many other features. So it's been really great to work with. The next tool is number 28, Replit, and I pulled up the website, replit.com, replit.com. Coding tools, build software collaboratively from anywhere in the world on any device without spending a second on setup. Instant IDE, code from your browser. Start coding instantly right from your browser with GitHub integration and support for nearly every major programming language. Replit is the best place to code. I think this is an interesting option depending on what your needs are. No downloads, no configs, no setups. It runs in your browser. You can get started coding in a few seconds. Any OS and any device. You can use it on Mac, Windows, Linux, or other OS. Hassle-free config. We've spent hours on environment setup. Let's never do that again. Ghostwriter, your partner in code. Code faster with suggestions, tab or swipe to autocomplete blocks of code or full functions. Generate functions and files. Repetitive boilerplate code is a thing of the past. Refactor and transform your code. Change the structure or functionality of your project. Your machine, their cloud. Basically. Store, organize, and manage your files and directories just as you would on your local machine. Clone, commit, and push to any GitHub repo. Support for 50 plus languages and counting. Their IDE compiles and runs Python, HTML, JavaScript, C++, Java, and more. Mix, match, and remix with templates. Never start from scratch again. Kickstart your next big idea with code snippets, project boilerplates, and tutorials for countless languages and frameworks. And you can publish your templates to contribute back to the community, to the template gallery. They have a universal package manager. And down here at the bottom of the home page is a list of languages. You can see there's quite an extensive list. If we go to the pricing page, you can see what you get for free. Unlimited REPLs, free storage up to 500 megabytes, 500 megabyte of memory, 0.2 to 0.5 vCPUs, and live multiplayer collaboration. Sign up for free. And then you can see other plans that are available, like the Hacker plan, which is $7 a month and includes more storage, more memory, more speed, and so forth. Here you can see some of the companies that are using the product. Number 29 on the list is Retool.com, Retool.com. And I have already covered that in the first part of the video, so if you stay until the end of this video, it will just go into the initial set of tools that I talked about, or you can go back and watch part 1. But Retool is a great tool to help you much more rapidly build internal tools, and you can self-host it if need be. Number 30 on the list is Strapi.io. I've been using it for a while now and find it just to be a very awesome headless CMS amongst many other things. And I did talk about that in the other video, so you may want to go check that out. Item number 31 on the list is Typerspiration. Inspirational font combinations and color palettes free to use in your own designs. So here you can see they have some recent styles and examples. You can choose different heading fonts, different body fonts, and click on these individual items here to see more information about them. So this can be a time saver, maybe when you're looking to start new websites or web projects. Number 32 is the jsonplaceholder.typicode.com. It's a free fake API for testing and prototyping. Usually use it during the initial stages of developing an API or a front end that needs to talk to an API. JSON Placeholder is a free online REST API tool that you can use whenever you need some fake data. Here is a list on the screen of posts, comments, albums, photos, to-dos, and users. And so you can code those into your application as you're developing it. Again, to save you some time if you need some data. There's also different routes that it supports here. So I have found this to be a time saver in some applications. So number 33 is Validator, or validator.w3.org, the markup validation service. I don't use this a lot, but I have used it in a few situations. And as you can see here on the screen, you can validate by a URI, so you can post that in there. Select some more options. You can validate by a file upload if you have a file on your machine or available somewhere that you can upload and have it validated that way. Number 34 is the good old w3schools.com. It says the world's largest web developer site. You really can look up pretty much anything you are interested in or trying to figure out on this, and you should find some useful information with examples. Here they're showing HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, SQL, PHP, jQuery, Java, C++, Bootstrap, and many more. So definitely give it a look if you're trying to figure out an answer to a problem. If you become a pro user, you can browse it without ads, and you can use some of the website hosting. Includes the Spaces Pro and access to their HTML video tutorial. They also have a famous color picker, which I have used a few times. This is what the color picker screen looks like. You can enter in a value or select a color. Here's a quick example. I clicked on JavaScript. They say JavaScript is the world's most popular programming language. It's the programming language of the web. It's easy to learn. And so you can see over here on the left, there are an unbelievable amount of different things or topics you can click on and get more information about it. And so you can see examples that you can copy and paste into your own code. So this is a very useful site. Number 35 is Webinoly, and I actually already talked about this in the other video, so you may want to take a look. But basically it's an optimized LEMP web server to manage your WordPress, PHP, or simple HTML sites running on a powerful NGINX setup. Tool number 36 is from yworks.com. Diagrams, analysis, app generators, and more. I did talk about this in the other video, but I'll just scroll down this front page here so we can take a real quick look. As they say, beautiful data, valuable insights for everyone. And there's some good stats here on this front page. What sets them apart? Over 1 million users worldwide in 60 countries, or more than 60 countries, 20 plus years of graph drawing. They have 25 developers on staff, the #1 diagramming SDK, and diagramming for almost every platform. So add value to your data by visualizing it, and the results will look amazing. I've used some of their charts in the past. Here is some of the tools or companies that are using the tools. And so here is yFiles, the diagramming SDK. So here is the yFiles overview. And I'll just quickly scroll down this page to point out a few things. Of course, they're talking about data visualization. Key technique for analyzing large amounts of data or information and making data-driven decisions. And we can scroll down. They explain what their diagramming SDK is and the basic parts of it. Here is some examples of some of their charts and graphs that you can create. And here is a list: fraud detection, UML class diagrams, graph editors, mind maps, data analysis, organization charts, tree layouts, decision trees, automatic layout flowcharts, and much more. And if you click this see all demos, you can go to another page. So here is the online demo page. The list is staggering how many different examples they have. I'll just scroll down the list a little bit. So many different approaches and ideas for doing data visualization. And the last one on the list is Chartbrew, and I did talk about that at the beginning of part 1. I have used Chartbrew in some projects and found it to be a really great tool for doing more dashboards and creating like graphs and charts and things, integrated with a Chartbrew plugin for Strapi. Strapi's the headless CMS that I've been also working with. So if you need to do things like this, definitely give Chartbrew a look. It's open source. They do have a paid option also, but it's been a great tool to work with. And I did make a series of YouTube videos on my channel about Chartbrew and the Chartbrew plugin and how to set it up and do a lot of different things with it. So you may want to check that out if you're interested in Chartbrew or the Chartbrew plugin for Strapi. So here is the bottom part of the list. I will include these links in this video description. And again, if you want to keep continuing on with this video, you'll see part 1 included here, or you can just go watch part 1 separately. And I appreciate your time, and I hope you found some useful tidbits of information in this video, and it'll help you save some time on your future projects. Thanks for watching. Welcome to my video about 37 developer tools for 2023. In this video, I will be sharing a list of software developer websites and tools that I've either used a lot, or I used a few times, or I may be investigating further. I plan to make other videos to follow up on some of these technologies. So the list of URLs I will show and mention in this video series is included in the description below. And towards the end of the video, I will show a link to where you can download this list of links using your web browser. And so I hope these websites and tools will help you in some way. If you've never heard of them, great. And if you have, then you can skip to the next one. I did want to mention also, I'm not sponsored currently by any of these companies or tool vendors. So let's go ahead and get started. So here is the notepad file that I created that has all of the websites that I will be briefly talking about in this video. And this video may be a little bit longer, and I will include like the chapters in the YouTube video if you want to skip ahead. But here you can see there are lots and lots of interesting tools here. So we will be taking a look at those in this video. I will mention a few from the end of the list first, and then basically just go down from the top of the list to the bottom after that. So the first site I wanted to mention or tool is Strapi, and I do have a few other videos where I talk about this tool. It's been really great working with it, and I've been building some sites like backend and content management systems. This is a headless CMS. It's 100% JavaScript and it's fully customizable. I've integrated it with third-party APIs like SMS services and email services, as well as like email templates, which again, I have a video about that. So if you're in the market to need a headless CMS, you should take a look at Strapi. It's got great support, a great community around it, and a lot of support and so forth on the GitHub web pages. The next site is called Chartbrew, and so this is the interactive dashboard and client reports. It can track the most important metrics from all your data sources in one place. And there's also a plugin for Strapi, and I have some videos about that I will include in the link in the description of the YouTube video. The next website is called yworks, and so I included a couple pages here, the demo page and the app generator page. So yworks, there is a lot of online demos here, so you can see what kind of applications you could create using the yFiles diagramming library. And if you go to the yFiles feature page, it contains more information about the various capabilities it has to offer. So here there are 26 of 314 demos. I mean, there's just so many things you can do with this tool. It's really amazing. So if you have any type of needs for data visualizations like this, you should take a look. And the app generator, create visualization prototypes quickly and easily. The low code solution for beautiful graphs. For everyone, for techies. So you can read a little bit different take on it. So this is a browser tool that lets you visualize your choice of data as a diagram. The underlying yFiles SDK makes this possible in a few easy steps. You can rapidly create diagram app prototypes with very little programming knowledge, share proofs of concept with your colleagues and customers, create scaffolds for your future yFiles powered diagramming application. And so they just have some more information here on their App Generator page. Rapid prototyping, get started easily. Let's not reinvent the wheel. And it just really goes on and on. It's a very amazing tool. You should give it a look. The next site is Webinoly Optimized NGINX Web Server. Install, configure, and optimize your own web server in seconds. A complete LEMP stack, that's Linux, Ubuntu, NGINX, MariaDB, or MySQL, and PHP, or you can install individual packages according to your needs. One of the most reliable configurations to host your websites, and you do it in one step. And so I also wanted to mention another YouTube video that explains all of this in a lot more detail. Let me go ahead and pull that up here. So here I've highlighted in the text file the YouTube video. If you want to pull that up, it does go into, like I said, a lot more detail about setting all of this up to host like a WordPress website inside of a Oracle virtual machine instance. Now let's go ahead and pull up the GitHub page for this. So here is the GitHub page. An optimized NGINX web server, a powerful set of commands for doing just about anything you could wish. One of the most reliable configurations to host your websites, and you can do it in one step. So there's good information here on the GitHub page, and then there's one other web page here you can look at how to install it. And it mentions the supported sites such as simple HTML sites, PHP sites, native support for WordPress, reverse proxy sites, parked sites or alias domain forwarding, and fully custom sites. Use your own custom NGINX configuration. And there are some warnings here. If you're not familiar with server administration, you may not want to use this tool. So you do want to pay attention to the warnings. And the Linux distribution supported are Ubuntu 22.04 and 20.04. So there's some really great information here on setting it up that you should take a look at if you're interested. The next site is called retool.com, retool.com. Build internal tools remarkably fast. This tool looks amazing. I haven't had time to actually use it. I've just been reading about it, and I would like to use it on a future project, so I've just been reading some of the documentation. Here you can see some of the companies that are using it, and just some of the information about the tool. Connects to anything like REST, GraphQL, gRPC API. It empowers you to work with all of your data sources seamlessly in one app. It's built for developers, highly hackable, so you're never limited by what's available out of the box. If you can write it with JavaScript and an API, you can build it with Retool. So here are some comments from users of the tool. One of the best apps with the worst marketing. It's transformative. Building a custom dashboard in-house for your customer support. Have you thought of UI, UX, access control, staging versus production environment? Yep, thought so. Better use Retool instead. Thank me later. I mean, there's a lot of really great comments here on this tool. Get started today building your internal tool in under 10 minutes. So let's look at a couple other pages here. The admin panel. The fastest way to build an admin panel. Save hundreds of hours with pre-made templates, integrations, and components. So you can try it out by clicking there, or you can get a demo. Easily connect to your data source to get building right away. Drag drop and build your admin panel. Build fast with 50 plus drag and drop components. There's a live demo there you can click on. Looks like a Firebase admin panel possibly. Retool provides the building blocks for any internal tool. Whether you're building a basic CRUD interface or refund management software, internal tools that have the same building blocks, tables, text boxes, drop-downs, etc. Retool gives you a simple way to connect these building blocks with your own data sources so you can assemble any custom internal tool fast. And this was another interesting web page I found on their website, generating an API from a CSV file. Again, this is on the Retool website. And so you have a couple options here. Upload a CSV, which you can browse your files and do that, or build your own, or use a public data set. So I'll quickly show you that it only takes a few seconds here to make an API. So let's click most populous US cities. Then I'll click next. There's the data. I'll click next. Here's the endpoint URL. So we can generate an API, transform, write to a database, or generate an app. So let's generate an API. And it says it'll be deleted if it's not been used in like 30 days. So there's the API. And then we can click on it. And it pops open a new web page with the information found in that API, which then you could use in your web application that you're developing. So I just have found this particular tool to be helpful when kicking off some new software programs and wanting to access some public APIs. So definitely give it a look. The last thing I'll mention, the self-hosted Retool. You can deploy Retool on your own infrastructure in less than 10 minutes and access your data no matter where it is. And so here it talks about for the most complex regulated environments and industries. The Retool self-hosted is designed to help all kinds of companies securely create internal apps. Healthcare, you can see some of the companies, financial services, Fortune 500s. So you don't just have to use the external site. You can build and host it yourself in your own environment. So definitely take a look at it. Is a really great tool. Could save a lot of time. So now I'm going to get started back at the top of the list that I showed here, and I'll bring that back on the screen for a moment. So I'll be starting with number 1. As I mentioned, there was just a few I really wanted to highlight, some of the ones that I've been working with more recently. And so again, we'll go back to the top of the list now, starting with number 1, and that's Bitly. So Bitly has link management software, QR codes, dynamic solutions to fit every business need, and link in bio. Curate and track links for social media profiles. And the pricing, if we take a look at that, there is a free plan, which includes 50 Bitly links per month. So it's nice if you need to get started and try it out and get some things set up on their platform. And so here you can see the detailed feature comparison between the link management, the QR codes, and link in bio, custom domain essentials, campaign management, data and analytics, data delivery, platform access, admin features, customer success. So definitely a lot going on here. With Bitly, you may want to take a look at that website. As it says there, connect to your audience with branded links, QR codes, and link in bio that will get their attention. So number 2 on the list is Can I Use? The Can I Use website provides up-to-date browser support tables for support of front-end web technologies on desktop and mobile web browsers. So here, if we scroll down to the bottom of the web page, you can see the legend. Anything in green means it's supported. Red means it's not supported. This yellow says partial support or gray support unknown. And so this was for the CSS grid layout level 1. So I think it's, really helpful to be able to look up certain features of web browsers and be able to get a quick overview of how it may be supported, so that you'll know as a developer if it would be broken on certain web browsers or if it's going to work properly or partially work. So definitely use this website, look up the different features that you're interested in supporting, and see what this site tells you. And this page from their website is like an index of features, the latest features, most search features. So we can click on Flexbox. Let's open that in a new page, and again we can see the support, what's supported or not supported. You can mouse over these links, and there's also tabs down here: test on a real browser, known issues, or other resources. So again, this site can really save you a lot of time and help you determine whether or not you should be using certain features of web browsers in your applications. Number 3 on my list is ChatGPT. That's from OpenAI.com. And it looks like currently the site may be having some issues. Like if you try and click on this try button up here in the top of the web browser, it's not working. But I have some other videos where I talk about this ChatGPT, which is using a form of artificial intelligence to answer questions, write code, draw pictures, just so many different things. It's really interesting. So if you haven't heard of it, maybe take a look at some of my other videos about the ChatGPT. I do think it serves a purpose in the future of the world of IT and other uses also. So definitely give it a look. So number 4 on my list is Colorzilla. It is a browser add-on web color picker and an advanced eyedropper. So I opened up 2 pages here. So click on the Colorzilla, and it kind of explains what the tool is used for and so forth. And the gradient generator, as it says, you can use this interactive page and generate gradients that you would like to use. So I've found these tools to be useful in some situations. As it says here, Colorzilla for Google Chrome is an extension that assists web developers and graphic designers with color-related tasks, both basic and advanced. Colorzilla includes a color picker, an eyedropper, a gradient generator, and many additional advanced color tools. With Colorzilla, you can get a color reading from any point in your web browser, quickly adjust the color, and paste it into another program. You can analyze a page and inspect a palette of colors. So it really is a very useful tool in web development, so you should give it a look. So here is the next website, which is number 5, color-hex. It's a color picker in a web browser. There are several tools up here. You can click on, type in value, or click on the drop-down list and pick one of these colors, and it will update the information there, and you can move things around and so forth in this interactive color picker. And also you can click on one of these colors, let's say 002147, and get lots of information about it. The color spaces, they're calling it Oxford Blue, the RGB, HSL, HSV, CMYK, and so forth values for the colors. And so then it just gives some additional information, different shades of it, different tints of it, the RGB percentages of the color, the CMYK percentages of the color, and various other information, including code you can copy and use inside of a web application. The latest palettes, there's some information about 99,202 color palettes are listed. So here I clicked on the mystery author color palette, and you can see the colors that are in the palette and the PNG of the color palette, and you can download the color palette there. Popular palettes, so you can click on that and you can see all these popular color palettes. And again, you can click into one of these if you like the color palette and get more information about it. So this tool again can speed up your work as far as working on like the front end of a website or web application. So definitely give it a look. Okay, so number 6 on the list is the free color tool, providing information about any color and generating matching color palettes for your designs. So there are several links here. You can see examples, a gradient generator, a color blender, color subtraction, the 216 web safe colors, and colors by name. So let's go ahead and just put in an example here, FF0033, and hit the enter key. And here we can see information about the color itself, what the RGB color chart looks like, what the CMYK color chart looks like, the color description, pure or mostly pure red, and the color conversion, what the RGB values are, and the CMYK values, and several other configurations. And then you can see color schemes using that color, complementary color, split complementary colors, triadic colors, and so forth. And then there's some alternatives, some colors that are close to the FF0033 color, and a preview. So like a background color with, say, white text, or the font color using that color that I selected, FF0033, or what does it look like as a border color. And then it shows shades and tints for FF0033. A shade is achieved by adding black to any pure hue, while a tint is created by mixing white to any pure color. In this example, the 140004 is the darkest color, and FFFFFF is the lightest one. So then you can see tones. A tone is produced by adding gray to any pure hue. And then they have this color blindness simulator. You can see how FF0033 is perceived by people affected by a color vision deficiency. This can be useful if you need to ensure your color combinations are accessible to colorblind users. So again, this is a really useful website. You may want to give it a look. The next website you've probably heard of, Udemy.com. It's an online learning center. I've purchased and have gone through many classes on Udemy, and I found this instructor, Colt Steele. He has 1.4 million students according to this Udemy page, with 436,000 reviews. Now I've taken some of his classes, or am taking some of his classes now, and I just wanted to point out his webpage here on Udemy. You may want to give him a look. He has, looks like 22 different courses, and you can get deals on them from time to time. So you should give his courses a look. Very helpful. And one last mention here on Udemy, the microservices with Node.js and React. In the process of going through this class, it's massive. Last updated 12/2022, so pretty much it's up to date. It has 440 hands-on exercises and 371 downloadable resources and 662 lectures, 54 hours long. It's absolutely massive. But it's a really great class if you're looking to get into this type of development. So definitely give that a look. If you're interested in microservices, Node.js, React, build, deploy, and scale an e-commerce app with or using microservices built with Node, React, Docker, and Kubernetes. The next tool, CopyCat for Figma. Generate production-friendly code from Figma designs. Generate scaffolding code directly from Figma designs. So here's their website, copycat.dev. Generate production-friendly code from Figma designs. Build stunning apps and web pages faster. Save hours of valuable dev time using CopyCat. According to their site, 5.1 thousand developers, 320,000 designs converted, 15 million lines of code generated, 480,000 hours saved. Product teams in the fastest growing companies are using CopyCat. And of course you can see the name of some big companies there. And they go on to say, are you doing a lot of mundane coding tasks? Do you spend hours writing components, fixing minor bugs and responsive issues? Do you feel like your time could be invested in something more valuable? Start building awesome UI in less time. Invest more time in building stunning interactions, animations, and networking. Build gorgeous UI, user interface, faster than anybody else. Build world-class UI in half the time. CopyCat helps teams of every size build UI faster. Smooth design to dev handoff. Reduce design to dev back and forth. Developer-friendly boilerplate code, and integrate repo to reuse code. Speed up your React.js development by up to 35%. Sign up with CopyCat, input your Figma URL, and build your UI faster. They go on to say, revolutionizing the designer-developer handoff. Create masterpieces with minimal back and forth. Developing pixel-perfect UI takes too much time in this day and age. We want to remove the pain point of having to write redundant boilerplate layout and atomic code so that you can focus on building truly remarkable apps faster. It works with your Stack, Bootstrap, Tailwind, Material UI, Gatsby, Emotion, JavaScript, and others. And some reviews of the product. One person said, CopyCat helped us build a production-grade website or web app and ship it quickly. The code generated by CopyCat is usable in my day-to-day work. The code generated is human-like, readable, and making editing a breeze. CopyCat takes care of all the boilerplate code files, assets, and components, saving 22% of my time every sprint. So anyway, down at the bottom here, there's some great blog information, and then the pricing page, which we'll look at briefly, and integrations for Figma to HTML and CSS, Figma to Tailwind, Figma to Bootstrap, Figma to AntDesign, Figma to Material, and Figma to Chakra. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I don't use that particular tool. CopyCat pricing. Community Edition, free, upgraded to the individual plan after a trial. The Pro version is $49. That's got to be per month. And custom for a team. And then the feature comparison is good to look at to see what features, like let's say in the free edition versus the Pro edition. A lot of different features here. And you should take a look at the FAQ if you're interested. So definitely give this tool a look. It could really save a lot of time. I'm going to be looking at it more in depth in the future. I did want to point out a couple specifics here in the FAQ. CopyCat helps you develop React.js UI faster by generating production-ready code directly from designs. Which front-end languages are supported by CopyCat? You can generate component and layout code only in React.js. We decided to go with React.js because React.js is the dominant force in the front-end development landscape. They do support TypeScript, JSX, and TSX syntax. And who is CopyCat for? It's for developers and product development teams looking to build React.js UI faster, build predictability into front-end development, and free up valuable developer time. We want to help you speed up your development so you can go to market and test multiple hypotheses. When we created CopyCat, we all came from different stages of maturity. That is why CopyCat is great for software projects starting from scratch or mature ones with existing code bases. Then they go on to explain about the cost. You may be able to get it for free if they think they can gather valuable feedback. Otherwise, the paid plans start at $49 a month. So hopefully you find that useful, or that you will be able to use this tool in your future projects to speed things up and get work done more easily. Tool number 9 is the Github Copilot. It's cloud-based artificial intelligence tool developed by GitHub and OpenAI to assist users by auto-completing code. So don't know if you've heard of this tool before or have used it. I've experimented just a little bit with it. It does look pretty interesting. And I know there's a lot of videos about using the GitHub Copilot, but I did want to mention it in my video since I do think it's very useful technology and may again help save time and cut down costs in the overall software development lifecycle. As it says here, it's your AI pair programmer. GitHub Copilot uses the OpenAI codex to suggest code and entire functions in real time right from your code editor. It's trained on billions of lines of code. GitHub Copilot turns natural language prompts into coding suggestions across dozens of languages. Focus on solving bigger problems. Spend less time creating boilerplate and repetitive code patterns and more time on what matters. That is, building great software. Write a comment describing the logic you want, and GitHub Copilot will immediately suggest code to implement the solution, as you can see in the screenshot. So we'll hit replay. Get average runtime of successful runs in seconds, and then it generates a function for that. You can get AI-based suggestions made just for you. It shares recommendations based on the project's context and style conventions. Quickly cycle through lines of code, complete function suggestions, and decide which one to accept, reject, or edit. Here they're mentioning that it integrates with Visual Studio, NeoVim, VS Code, JetBrains. So according to these statistics, 74% focus more on satisfying work, 88% feel more productive, 96% are faster with repetitive tasks. Well, here's a quote from Mike Krieger, co-founder of Instagram. This is the single most mind-blowing application of machine learning I've ever seen. And then there's some other quotes here. GitHub Copilot works shockingly well. I will never develop software without it again. I was stunned when I started writing Clojure with GitHub Copilot, and it filled an idiomatic namespace required just like I was going to write it. Trying to code in an unfamiliar language by Googling everything is like navigating a foreign country with just a phrase book. Using GitHub Copilot is like hiring an interpreter. So again, if you haven't used it, you should give it a try and see if you like it or not. You can get a free trial. And otherwise, it looks like for individuals, it's $10 a month or $100 a year if you prepay. And check out their FAQ page for more information. So number 10 on the list is HackerRank.com. And so there's a lot of different uses for this website and or company. But for developers, like practice coding challenges and prepping for interviews, they also have a 2023 developer skills report that you can download And I think that has really interesting information on it that you want to take a look at. And here is the HackerRank.com/dashboard. Prepare for interviews, add your skills, get certified with different areas, problem solving, Python, prepare by different topics, algorithms, AI, Java, SQL, functional programming, data structures, databases, and a lot of other areas. So if you're getting geared up for a new job or thinking about it, you may want to come onto this site and use some of their tools to help you. If you like this channel, please like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when I post new content.